Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the On Time On Target Morning Brief, where we invest in fighter pilot precision on a daily basis. Coming at you live this morning from Louisville, Kentucky, downtown overlooking the river, where I've had the ability in the past. If you're familiar with the Kentucky Derby, obviously it goes on every year in first Saturday in May. They also have what's called the Thunder over Louisville, which is a big air show that kicks everything off. And I had the ability for, many years ago, back in my Air Force days, to bring an airplane out here and fly up and down the river to be, kick that whole ceremony off. So it's pretty cool to be back in Louisville. I was at a speaking event last night, went fantastic. But that's why I'm here. After work day today, we're gonna head out to Churchill Downs and catch some races. So pretty neat to the friends I have here in the area. Today we're going to talk about cybersecurity. You know that there was the pipeline event last weekend where there was ransom paid out in Bitcoin. Obviously, that hit Bitcoin. Also hit gas prices skyrocketed. There was the gas shortage. I think the gas shortage is over. So everybody got their money's worth out of freaking out about gas prices there for a while. Gas prices are still high, but not in shortage mode like it was a week ago. But yeah, for this morning, so when you think cybersecurity, you think, okay, well, is this going to be a theme that's going to be a problem in the future? I think you can unequivocally say yes, that cybersecurity concerns are out there and pretty much everybody has them. I have even here in my own small business, I have a cybersecurity policy that I pay for a whole bunch of software that's in place monitoring my systems to make sure nobody gets into them and blocks the hackers, that sort of thing, above and beyond just the basic like Norton Security or McAfee or whoever you might have on your computer. So it's a level above that. So if I have to do that as a small firm running out of my house, then of course everybody else out there pretty much has to do it as well. So when you think of names in the space, Palo Alto Networks released our earnings last night. They crushed earnings. Actually, that's going to be our long for today. An option to take a look at is PANW. There's also FireEye out there, is a fantastic name in the space. And if you're with me, instead of trying to pick best of breed, which I do a little bit, and those are the two names that I use, that's why I brought those up. But if you get into just having the entire fund, I use CIBR for my exposure for most folks. So that's how most people have it. But individual names, you can use those as well. All right, for our topic of the day, that's going to be cybersecurity. The question today is going to be, what's a margin account? There's some confusion on that that I ran into, so we'll clarify any questions you might have on that. For longs, we have Palo Alto and Buckle released earnings. And then for our short, if you want to take something short today, VF Corp, which is the parent company to retailers like North Face, Timberland, Vans, shoes, if you're familiar, they missed earnings. So it's kind of, now you have, remember all the retail numbers. We did a show on it the other day about how amazing retail has been. Now you have a retailer that missed earnings. It's like, ooh, that's not good. So that's selling off. We'll take a look at that as we go into the open. With that, let's go ahead and get started. All right, welcome back, everyone. Here's our lineup card for the day, Friday, May 21st. Make sure you have your Q&A window and chat window set up appropriately. Also, standard disclaimer applies. This is a financial education presentation, so you have to do your own due diligence before you act upon anything you hear this morning. And I see your note there, Apex. Good luck on the longs and shorts. Hopefully we pick the same ones. I did not like a whole lot of what I saw this morning. So those are why you only have 3. All right, mission objectives today: grow our money, protect our money, live off our money. This is clearly under the grow our money category by investing in cybersecurity. We're looking to maximize profits here. There's going to be a lot of upside in some of these names. They've run up quite a bit, of course, because that's what happens with big themes that are out there, but I think it's got a lot more room to run. So I'm very confident in the theme out there. We talked about the question today was a margin account. We'll circle back to that after we get through the market open. Our flow today will be long, short, open, short, long. We'll take a look at the market review. Things are about flatlining to slightly green today. We will take a look at the headlines and then go into specifically Palo Alto is what you see there, as well as FireEye and Cyber. I tend to like Palo Alto right where it is right now over FireEye, but they're about equivalent. And FireEye has got a smaller price point, which a lot of people find more attractive. Okay. We will execute the market open with the trades we see there. And Apex, if you want me to take a look at something as we go into the open, just go ahead and put, oh, there we go. You just read my mind. Short is RIDE, RIDE, as well as Oatly. Yeah, I wouldn't touch Oatly long. Yeah, just goes backed by Oprah and Jay-Z. I mean, that's good. I mean, those are big names, but I think there's a lot of celebrity behind that name. So yeah, RIDE will have earnings come out Monday. We'll take a look at it if we have time going into the open. Thanks for putting those in there. All right, contingencies and academic resources are standard. Let's take a look at where we are as the market. We did have a nice green day yesterday. So really, when you look at where we are in the SPY, we're still in that congestion area that we've been in for the past week and a half after a little sell-off there. So again, not really worried here. I think it would go either way. There's not really any reason for things to sell off anymore or go higher, really. So we're kind of in that no man's land of some congestion here. So we'll see. Might be a middling to flat kind of Friday. As you go into the 5-day look at the S&P 500, you can see we are today where we were basically last Friday at the high, right? So kind of a lost week, even though we did have the big sell-off. Largely from the crypto sell-off kind of was reflected in the overall market there as there was some selling. A lot of names are tied to crypto. So anyhow, that's why you see the sell-offs. We're about where we were a week ago. Honestly, no big deal. All right, for the, excuse me, for the day trading, here's how I have it set up. I'm going to look at Palo Alto long. Based off of the earnings number, you can see there. And then VFC short, a lot less volume there, but I think that's a better setup for VFC. So that's what I'm going to take a look at once we get back to it. All right, let's go over to the CNBC.com. I'm on one screen again, so I got to kind of figure this out here. All right, let me refresh for you and see where we are. If everything's holding in the green. It is. So over there, about 1/3% in the green across the board. You actually see there's all 3 names that we're looking at right there. Just got into a breaking news buckle, or breaking news banner. So I like that. Let's see. Here's the numbers from yesterday. You can see NASDAQ was up almost 2%. So pretty nice move. Europe is mixed today. Asia mixed as well. Pretty small moves, to be honest. US 10-year down to off a little bit, hovering around that 1.6% level. That's not alarming at all. Oh, I didn't see that. Oil's up a little bit, over 2% overnight. You see the headline there. All right, gold and silver up fractionally, and then crypto, Bitcoin was up earlier, a couple of percent, so stable above 40 again. Again, you know my take on it. We're basically bowing out because I really don't like the GBTC way to play it, and as well as Coinbase. I've lost confidence in their ability to remain best of breed, so we're out of that name as well. All right, as far as expand this a little bit to get our headlines here. Yeah, Kathy Wood, I was looking off to the right here. Kathy Wood keeps buying Coinbase, so good on her. She's also snapping up Tesla hand over fist. So she may be right. I do not think the risk is worth the capital. All right. Ceasefire is good news around the world. We'll see if it holds right over in Israel. Bank of America cuts Tesla price target. Tesla's down below 600, if I remember right, and there's no real reason for it to go back higher, I don't think. So this was out about the crypto. U.S. Treasury called for a stricter crypto compliance, and it's weird because they put out all transactions greater than $10,000 will now be tracked for crypto, and it's just like, how did crypto escape the basics of the Patriot Act that went into effect over a decade ago that also said the same thing, right? So for some reason, I guess the 10,000 minimum, the limit didn't apply. But if you've ever refinanced or whatever, you have to explain anything over $10,000. Anyway, due to the Patriot Act. So kind of getting caught up in that. We'll see if that slows down the crypto world. We'll see. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at our individual investments today. Here's finbiz.com. Let's look at Palo Alto first. So again, what you don't see here is they're up 6% pre-market. So up and down, I don't have the exact numbers in front of me. We'll see it when we pull the chart there. But what you can see is it'll be mid, probably 350, maybe 352 or so. But you'll see this chart has a lot of room to run. It was up at 400 back at the end of February. So really positioned pretty well to go higher. That's why I like it here. When you get down into the actual ratios, of course, it doesn't pay a dividend. It's not profitable, but it's returning to profitability here in the next year. So that's where you see the PE there. They could choose to be profitable, but they're building out, if you will. As far as their performance, hasn't screamed higher there, so there's plenty of room for the upside. And the short float's 5%, so there is some short float against it. But I think that's probably going to clear up and end up going higher. All right, take a look at FireEye here. Pretty different chart. You have the huge move up at the end of, or at the beginning of January, up here at $24. Kind of sold off since then. It's now at 21. Again, positioned to go higher as well. Same sort of thing, not profitable now, but returning to profitability over the course of the next year. 8% float against it. That's pretty significant. And the numbers have been better for FireEye. But between the two, I'd say Palo Alto is your best right now. And then looking at the ETF real quick. There's several ETFs out there that do the same thing. Hack is one of them. I like Cyber a little bit better because of the heavy weightage of the top names. But when you look at this, you can see also sold off down here at 43, so it's got room to go higher as well. So I prefer the ETF. You do pick up for fractional dividend if you go with the ETF. All right, let's take a look at Think Pipes and get set up for the play of the day. All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the On Time On Target play of the day. You have 3 screens in front of you instead of the normal 4. We have the SPY on a 1-minute chart over here. Things are in the green. We have Palo Alto on a 1-minute chart here. You can see the big move up based off of earnings, kind of stabilized from there. So maybe that's not going higher. We shall see. But what I also like is VF Corp short. You'll see it's a lot lower volume there. There's the opening. So we're going to look at VF Corp short. And see what things, how it opens here. If it falls like a rock, we will have missed it, but as long as it doesn't appear to open yet, there we go. Looking at a dollar stop, high of the day is 81, so it'd be nice if it backed up more than that. Otherwise, we're going to have to take it at 80 here, going short, obviously, with a $1 stop. So that's what I'm looking at is 80 right away. I'd prefer it would climb up before we get in, but we shall see. It's got plenty of volume here in the first minute. You see Palo Alto kind of falling. So, all right. So we're going to let VF Corp kind of back up here and establish a new high. Palo Alto was my one long. I don't like that chart. Let's look at Buckle. not really gapping up, only gapping up a couple percent. So that doesn't really fall in with what we've got. Let's see, the other one was Ride. Again, I didn't pull this. This is off the streets, if you will. Down 5%. We'll kind of keep that there if you're interested in Ride. But I really like the, let's go still with it. We aren't going to be able to cover the high of the day, but if it hits 80, let's do that. We'll still use the $1 or the $1 stop here in a VFC. The $1.50 is just way too much. And again, this will be a short. Tempted to enter it now and then use the dollar stop up to 81.50. I'm going to do that. So 80.50 is going to be our entry with the $1 stopped up to 81.50. Not giving us that entry yet. Looking over at Ride. Ride is backing up. $10. That would be 10 cent. Don't really see an entry there. All right. If this holds here, our stop is still good at 81.50 and entry point at 80.50 short. I'm not going to wait forever on this. It's right there at that 5% down point though. All right, Ride's not working. What was the other one? Well, look, looks like we're going to get our entry here, 80.50 short in VF Corp. There it is, 80.50 short, so take it short. You got 81.50 is your stop, and it's a $R. So like that entry point there, and 81.50 is the upper stop. And then the arrow, get the arrow in down here. A little bit hard to draw the arrow here, but so you can see what's going on. All right, 79.50 is our 1R point. So that is, it went down and almost touched that already. And then we'll draw the others as we need basically to fall another $1, another $2 to be able to exit at 77.50 if you're putting that in. All right, the other longer is going to take a look at is Oatly, that Predator brought up. Again, big name again, but like I said, Oprah and Jay-Z behind it. Not really setting up for a trade. If anything, it's selling off a little bit. So, all right, nice five bars in a row up on the market. So that's a lot of strength. So we've got our trade here in VF Corp. I'm going to leave it, so have it pulled up on another screen there, and then we're going to go see what's going on in the long-term plays in the market. All right, Palo Alto, we know about that name, up 6%. Roblox up 4%. That's good to see. Clickstream, Luckin getting some love. That's nice, up almost 4%. Nvidia, Boeing's in there. AT&T bouncing off of a hard sell-off from the discovery slash media unwinding, if you will. Beyond Meat is in there. Hero, like we talked about. Yeah, esports. So the Austin Burners played last night. They won easily. It was kind of a blowout. They actually, what's weird at the beginning, so normally there's a spread in sports, right? So to level the playing field, they take, instead of using a 0-0 start, they actually spot a team ahead of time. So they spotted the other team 22 points, and then they beat them like 32-25. So really, as far as the goals that were scored, it was 32-3. But they had spotted the other team 22 points because of the mismatch. So it's kind of an interesting way they score it. I put the link out on Facebook. You can catch the replay if you're interested. But it was cool to see, sponsored by Afterburner Financial, and the commentators talked about Afterburner Financial being, responsible for all of it. So it's pretty cool. I liked it. All right, let's go to the red side. LKYSF selling off. Nikola, Alibaba, KWeb. China's just been a house of pain. Qualcomm, not too many names in the red here, really only a fraction. So really setting up to be a nice green day today. All right, let's check back on our trade. Hanging out here in the money, of course, but just kind of not doing a whole lot. So we'll check back on that after we talk about a margin accounts. All right, let's go back to CNBC, excuse me, back to Google Chrome here, and we will pull up the Investopedia. Margin account. Okay, so what is a margin account? We'll see what the book or what the web says here. So we find on it an example. Okay, so it basically has to be a taxable account in order for you to have margin. So if you want to short, you need to have margin. So what margin allows you to do is, say you have $25,000 in the account. If you have margin, and when you sign up for a taxable account with margin, they'll give you 2x whatever you have in there. So that means with a $25,000 account, you can buy up to 50,000 in securities, and you can hold them. And if you decide to hold more than what you actually have, then you're going to end up paying a margin fee over time. So generally, it floats, and it depends on a lot of different things. But generally, you can think kind of 7% for that privilege. So in your taxable account, that's how that works. That's how you can, if you have 25,000 in there, say in securities, you can see a tradable money is 25,000 too, and you're like, what? Because there's like no cash. But how do yet I have 25,000 funds available to be able to trade? Well, that's because you have the margin on that account. The same thing happens is if you buy a security and it needs to settle for 3 days. Excuse me, if you sell a security and you need to settle for 3 days and go back in and buy another one, that may trip margin depending on the your type of account and things. I have seen that before. Also, if you are in an IRA, you cannot have margin because it's just not allowed, right? They don't allow you to lever up in any form of IRA out there. All right. If you short, the reason you need margin is you're actually borrowing. If you borrow, you have to borrow the shares and turn around and sell them short, and you stay in that borrowed status until you give them the shares back. So that's also considered margin, and the margin fees apply. If you are in margin, there's a couple of different margin calls out here. You can have a maintenance call, or you can actually have a full margin call. If you've seen this before, they're kind of no big deal, but you do need to pay attention if you get one of these calls, right? So I've seen this before. If you get a maintenance call, that's kind of a basic, you've tripped some ratio of capital requirements, like you shorted something and it started going against you, and they're like, well, we can't let this go forever, but we're just giving you a heads up that if this stays, you have like, I think a maintenance call is like 72 hours to fix. So you don't have to fix it right away. A true margin call, though, you'll get those generally at 2 o'clock Eastern is when the margin call kicks in. And then you have by the end of the day to settle it before they go in and settle it for you. My math might be off there on the times, but you need to, if you get a true margin call, you need to go in and settle it basically immediately. All right. Let's see what I missed here. Borrow funds. Yep. So it's leverage, right? You don't have to put the entire value of the trade up. Options, yep. It magnifies your profit and loss potential. So all you're doing is taking, a 2x factor if you use margin. If you become a pattern day trader, then they'll give you 4x. So we talked about that, many months ago. Kind of when we all started together was once you do, I think, 3 trades within 5 days that you day trade, you get in and out of, you will become a pattern day trader. Each day you do it, they go, you've got one qualified trade towards a PDT status or something like that. Then after you get 3, they'll send you an alert saying you're now a qualified pattern day trader, meaning your leverage is exposed or increased to 4x. It's kind of like increasing a credit card limit, right? They're just allowing you to use more leverage because you've shown proficiency with using leverage at least 3 times, right? And successfully. So that's kind of what it's doing to be able to do that. If you're day trading and you sell, you don't, even if you use margin, you don't owe any fees. As long as you're flat by the end of the day, the use of margin during the day doesn't count against you at all. I mean, it doesn't even charge you a penny. So it's pretty cool. Okay, that's all I've got on the margin accounts. Let's go ahead and check back to our trade. Okay, so we entered here at let's see, 80.50. We're at the 1 hour point. It did touch almost to the 2 hour point down here at 78.50, and again the exit is 77.50. So protect yourself up here with the upper stop at 81.50. You could lower that to 80.50 if you just don't want to lose on the day. I have no problem with that. I don't think this thing's going back higher. It'll just slowly leak off over the day. All right. That's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for checking in. You guys have a great weekend, and we will catch you on a Monday. And I'll be in, let's see, where will I be Monday? Spokane, Washington is where our morning brief is from Monday. One of the girls has a volleyball tournament up there this weekend. All right, with that, I'll let you go. You guys have a good one. Bye.